So one example is Old Spice. So Old Spice, everybody should know what who Old Spice are. And for those that don't know, Old Spice is actually part of the Procter and Gamble company, there's a large consumer goods company. And the thing with Old Spice is that it's actually not a legal entity; it's a brand that is part of Procter and Gamble. So that means that D&B does not recognize Old Spice as a legal entity. It actually won't match to D&B, connect to D&B, and same with the other data providers because it's not actually a company. Then it won't usually get aligned to a data source or an ID, and therefore it wouldn't be automatically built into the hierarchy. So a use case here for our AI is to look at accounts or look at brands that don't actually have that information to then try and find that relationship. And so what we've done here is I've created a very simple flow that will look at the company and what it's doing. It's going to run and it's going to determine what is the domain for this account. So we're going to look at the company name. We're going to populate a field with the domain for that account. And what we're also going to ask AI is what is the domain for the global ultimate? So this is a prompt that I built that's basically going to run and grab that information to give us an alternative data source to define what the relationship with this account might be with other accounts. Then what I've done here is also integrated this in with our hierarchy suggestions. So when we talk about a lot of objections that we get from our customers is that, hey, we like the D&B data, but sometimes there's gaps, or we like the ZoomInfo data, but sometimes there's gaps. And this is where we've introduced our hierarchy suggestions engine, which today, before AI, we were leveraging things like domain matching. We were looking at fuzzy match on account name to internally match this account to other accounts that should be this account's parent to identify ways of suggesting optimizations to the hierarchy to fill those gaps. Now what we're doing is we're leveraging the AI to have that additional option to say that if we can leverage the data, that we can match on the domain given for the global ultimate by AI, then we can suggest that as a potential optimization and augmentation to the hierarchy. And so if we go back to Old Spice, what we actually created in the demo org is a custom object where we're actually going to put the AI data. So this is an object that the account looks up to. And I'm just going to run that flow that I showed you earlier that was on the AI. That's going to run through. And if we refresh, what we'll then see is that or we refresh again, is we have domain for Old Spice, and then we have the parent domain as pg.com, which is the domain for the Procter and Gamble company. Now what we can do is run our hierarchy suggestions engine. And this is my why I was talking about earlier, where AI is a additional tool in our toolkit for how we help our customers, not a replacement. Because now we have that data, we can then use that as part of the flow to then use this as a suggestion. So I'm going to manually run that flow on our account. And what it's going to do is now it's going to match Old Spice based off of that global ultimate domain for PG and find the Procter & Gamble account that we already have in Salesforce. And so then what we have here, this is our report, which is for hierarchy, what we call for hierarchy linkage opportunities. So you can see here, we have Old Spice. We match the Procter & Gamble company based off of that domain. And you can actually see how we made that match. So we actually made an AI domain match. So this is, again, adding another arrow in our quiver for how we're making those matches. And then what we can do, and just to show you so that you know that I'm not fibbing, that we can see that Old Spice currently is not related to the P&G hierarchy. You can see here that we identified a potential match. And then what we can do, and we have customers that are already using the hierarchy suggestions engine today, who are using it with the domain matching and things like that. This will be an extra optimization on top of that. And so then using the inline editing within the report, we can actually give our customers the ability to approve that change to the hierarchy. So then if we click approve here and then save, that's going to write back to the account. It's going to kick it back through the assignment flow. And you can actually see here within the report that it's actually now been approved as a change within there. But then if we go back to our Old Spice, now we can see that it's actually built into the Procter & Gamble company. And we can see that it's actually, if we refresh here, that it's been improved in that way as well. So this is kind of an example of hierarchy augmentation, where we're, again, building on top of what we've already been demoing to customers around the hierarchy suggestions engine, but now we have another source of data to help support our suggestions engine in this case.